Hi everyone, Simon Keeling here. It is Saturday the 6th of October. Thanks again for watching. This one late online because it was a weather school day today. We've been doing weather school for sailors part 1 and it's brilliant to do weather school and explain how the weather works and why the weather works and show charts and really get into the weather all day long. So thanks again for those of you who came along. Pleased you enjoyed the day. I enjoyed it too, so thanks for taking time out and coming along to weather school. If you haven't been yet, go to weatherschool.co.uk and take a look at what we do there. Okay, big story of the week is starting to develop now in terms of the potential for temperatures falling sharply towards the end of the week into next weekend. This is the 850 millibar temperature for London from the ECMWF model for the end of the week. And notice here, look, there's the 12th, there's the 13th. So 13th is a week today. And you can see the sharp temperature drop there, with temperatures continuing to fall after that as a northerly wind sets in. And it's not just the ECMWF that's picked up in it either. This is the GFS ensemble, and this is the chart from 7 o'clock this morning. It goes forward in 12-hour steps, so there is 7 o'clock this evening. Here's the area of high pressure that's through us during the course of Sunday. Low pressure down towards the southwest, look, that's starting to push fronts northwards. And notice the ridge that's there, look, in the colours. You can see the colours there that are building through this ridge that kind of builds into the area of high pressure towards the north as the low pressure moves in. Incidentally, had an email off somebody asking about ridges and troughs, and I'll do a special video on those for you and just explain what I mean when I talk about ridges and troughs. But as we go through the sequence, look what happens. This is getting into the 9th. So this takes us to, when are we? What day are we with the 9th of February? Tuesday the 9th. And notice how high pressure still holds on through most of the country. I think there's going to be an old front by then across the south, bringing some cloud and drizzle, but I'll explain more about that in just a moment. What I want you to notice here is through Wednesday, look, high pressure holds on. But then towards the end of the week, look, we've got a trough that's moving its way eastwards, and that trough that moves its way eastwards brings more unsettled conditions towards the end of the week. Those more unsettled conditions that are coming through towards the end of the week are going to be pushing in some showers. So it's this trough that moves its way eastwards then, taking outbreaks of rain and showers with it. But I want you to see what happens once that trough passes through. Look, we've got the surface trough here. That's the front that's going through. We've got the upper air trough here, look, and watch this ridge building out in the Atlantic. As the ridge builds, the flow goes into the north and the northwest, and this is the cold air coming down. Now, area of low pressure forms in the North Sea, look, as the northerly winds set in. And where I favour the ensemble model is in what happens in the week after, because look, the ridge continues to build out in the Atlantic. It stays chilly with a northwesterly wind through the country, but eventually the high does just settle through the country, look, with this area of low pressure moving into Europe. Now, do you remember what I was saying over the last few days about when we get this cold northerly flow, we get these cut-off lows that develop across Europe? I think that's probably going to be further south down here somewhere across northern Italy. But what that does is brings in the northeasterly flow, and it brings outbreaks of rain across the south of the country with high pressure to the north. And this is what we've been talking about, and it's what we start to see on the ensemble model. And then the high kind of holds on, and just look what happens there. We've got an upper cold pool here. Now, I think the ensemble goes off a little bit here, because what I think will happen is that cold pool will sink south. It'll develop a low through here through Central Europe, bring some really wet conditions, I think, over Central Europe during this middle part of October period, and will maintain high pressure to the north and the west of the UK, but on a cool northeasterly flow for most, although northern and western Scotland probably in the southwesterly. But I think a cool northeasterly flow for most parts of the UK, outbreaks of rain across the east and also to the south, with some outbreaks of rain at times. And the model then just tries to keep, look, high pressure through the country, or this ridge building through. It's split the jet. The jet stream goes one part to the north, one part down to the south, stuck in between the two. Low pressure, I think, is going to be over Europe, and I think it's going to push outbreaks of rain into the south of the UK at times. So for most of us, it looks as if it will be quite a dry period going through the middle part of the month under high pressure. But I do think that what we'll probably find is that it'll be quite autumnal, so they'll be dry. I think there'll be overnight mist and fog increasingly, and overnight frost as well. And I think as well some bits and pieces of drizzle around during parts of the day, particularly early morning, because the air's just going to become quite stagnated, and I think it will be thick enough, the cloud, to produce some outbreaks of drizzle at times. So I think we're going to go into a quietish spell of weather in the middle of the month, thanks to high pressure across most of the country. I still think outbreaks of rain, though, nudging into the south. And just looking at the Japanese model, you'll see how this is picked up by them as well. This is week 1, so this is the outlook from week 1. So this takes us from a Thursday through to next Friday, the 12th. UK is under here. These are the 500 millibar anomalies, and you see low the normal heights out towards the east, above normal heights to the south, low the normal heights out towards the west. Well, that's what's on the charts anyway. Let's look at week 2. Week 2 takes us through from next Saturday, the 13th, through to the following Friday. So we're going through from the 13th through to the 20th, and notice how it's built this high look up towards the north. These above normal heights and out in the Atlantic, and here's our trough look going into Europe through here. So this is that area where I said to you about watching for the upper low coming in and the northeasterly flow across southern and eastern parts of the country, high pressure up to the north. So this is backing up the story that the ensemble is trying to show, this idea of the risk of a low here and northeasterly flow across the country, some outbreaks of rain to the south, dry to the north. And then if we go into weeks 3 and 4, it's building the trough back westwards, still maintains pressure as being higher across the north, and I think this here again is probably indicative of the low still trying to be in here. I think still a northeasterly flow, I think still the risk of some outbreaks of rain across the south, but I really do think this story is going to develop into being quite autumnal across much of the country, with Scotland and Northern Ireland staying dry. Incidentally, this is the period going through from day 16, so this is from the 20th through to the through to day 29, so it takes us through to when about the 2nd of November. And if we look at the CFS to see what that's got on it, the CFS is very similar. Here's the week 1 forecast, and you kind of have to twist your head a little bit. There's the British Isles under there, look, it has above normal heights. Here's week 2, so this is from the 13th to the 19th of October. We've got a ridge built out towards the west of the country, trough out towards the east, and this is the low going into Europe. And you see here how these heights look are extended throughout northern parts of Russia, coming down into parts of Greenland, which is what we just saw on the Japanese charts. And then week 3, well, it kind of still maintains these below normal heights across the south of the UK through Scandinavia, higher pressure up towards the north, again still building this idea of a northeasterly flow with a high up towards the north. And then the 4th week into the beginning of November, it wants to build the heights back again across the UK and across southern parts of Scandinavia, which would put our ridge in here and have a trough down through the to the west of Spain. And what that would do is it would bring a more southeasterly flow through the country, still keeping it dry, but bring a more southeasterly flow. So I think what we're going to see is this tendency towards these drier conditions across much of the country, autumnal-like conditions, but outbreaks of rain coming into the south at times. But I think overall, away from that sort of southern third of England and Wales, I think we are going to go into a drier, frostier spell of weather. So lots of information there, so my apologies for that. Let's just take a very quick look at what the weather holds in the week ahead. This is the chart from 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, and what it shows is high pressure out towards the west. Look, there's our front down towards the south. Some pretty hefty bursts of rain still trying to clear away from south coast, but you'll notice how overnight tonight high pressure builds in, so we've got to look out for a frost in some places tonight. I think for Sunday morning, starting off with some mist and fog patches in places, they'll quickly cleared away, and they were in for a dry day. I think outbreaks of rain coming into southern Ireland and southwestern parts of England. I think high pressure holding on for many though, although overnight you'll notice how that rain just edges its way northwards, look, as we head in towards Monday. And for Monday, I think Monday's going to be quite a damp day across much of southern Ireland, across Wales, across the southern half of England, quite autumnal with outbreaks of drizzle and misty, murky conditions, perhaps just some heavier rain just sitting off the south coast of England during Monday afternoon. Scotland, Northern England, Northern Ireland, much better, lots of sunshine there. And I think really that's how it holds on through Tuesday as well, because on Tuesday I think we're going to have cloud and drizzle affecting the far south of Ireland, southern Wales and the far south of England. I think northern parts though, through Scotland, through Northern England, look as if they will stay fine. And then going through onto Wednesday, so we're going to find again the area of high pressure looks as if it's going to be holding on towards the north and the east of the country. Look, there it goes, slipping away towards the east. Brings in more of a south to southeasterly flow. Still murky through Scotland, southwest England. For many though, I think a better day with some sunny spells and generally dry. And then we start to see the trough move in through Thursday. So this is the front coming in from the west on Thursday. Some pretty hefty periods of rain, look, crossing the country, probably late on Thursday, mainly affecting western Scotland, western Wales, Ireland as well. I think through central and eastern parts of the country we'll find some heavy showers moving in as well during the day. And then once that trough clears eastwards, look, here's where our cooler air starts to move in. So through Friday we're into a mix of sunshine and also some showers, and it looks like that cooler weather is going to be in during Saturday. Although notice that the GFS wants to bring it more into a west to west southwesterly than the ensemble, which wants to make more of the northwesterly. At the moment I still go with the ensemble at that point, so that's going to be Saturday, and I still go with the idea that the ensemble was more correct for Saturday, which is, if I can just find it, which is that chart there. So low pressure off Scotland. Notice the difference between the two. The GFS has the low look here across the north of Denmark, whereas the ensemble has it just sitting off Scotland for the same time to the east of Scotland, and I think that one is going to be nearer the truth. So I do think we're going to see this trough move in, showers in the east, dry towards the west, but I think the emphasis is going to be on that cooler weather. Okay, lots and lots there, and I apologise for the video being so long, but I wanted to bring you up to speed, and do keep the sun shining. Bye for now.